Hi. It's been a minute. Not going to waste your time. I know what the big question is. Where have you been? To put it in its simplest form, it's in 3 words. Sim Racing Burnout. Technically 4, but you know what I mean. I've been gone for a long time because, yeah, I've been feeling burnt out from sim racing, doing the reviews and stuff like that, and it hasn't been the most pleasant thing in the world because sim racing is something that I really love, and I love doing. You know, I love racing, I love taking part in all sorts of competitions and, you know, just general casual racing as well, and it's just, I've felt just a bit worn out with the whole subject of things. I don't want to make this video sound like it's just like, oh, poor me, woe is me, everybody feels sympathy kind of thing. No, that's simply not the case. There are other factors as well that have contributed into my absence with this channel. Chief among which, I have started full-time streaming over on Twitch. My Twitch is right there. Because if you don't know, this is my second channel. Even my main channel suffered a bit of, you know, my absence and stuff like that. And I was suffering from general content creation burnout anyway. It's only just occurred to me the timing of this video is not long after the fact that there have been tons of high-profile YouTubers and content creators basically just announcing their retirement. Relax. Don't worry, I ain't retiring. I'm staying right where I am. Now, if you are interested in that, I do stream daily, Monday through to Friday, no weekends, but the content isn't really, you know, sim racing. There is sim racing occasionally involved in it, but, you know, it's just a whole multitude of things. But another contributing factor is, even though I run 2 YouTube channels, like the whole outcome was not really sustainable. I was making less than minimum wage. So full-time streaming came along, the idea, and I gave it a go, and basically, you know, I'm able to sustain that. But it's not the main contributing factor. Obviously, the main contributing factor was burnout. But Corey, why did you feel like you were falling out of love with sim racing and getting burnt out from that? A few things, you know, came up here and there. One of which I felt like there was a lot of pressure on my shoulders, especially like when it came to like organizing things, trying to get myself involved with, you know, different races with people that I know, because that's how I flourish, is when I'm racing with other people. You know, I'm surrounded by my friends and stuff like that, but a lot of the time it was kind of left to me to, you know, organize a lot of stuff, and that got, you know, tiresome. Other things like the reviews, which is like the main reason why people come to this channel, those got on top of me a lot. That's not to say that I don't have any reviews to, you know, do or anything like that. I currently have 6 products that I am currently reviewing. So yeah, I am still making the reviews. Over there's the SimMagic GT Neo. I've got the Camus C5 that is, which is, the review's coming out very soon for that. I've got the Camus C15, I've got the new SimForge pedals, I've got the Moser sequential shifter, and I've even got an updated model of the Moser R21. So there's no shortage there. I even have a review of the Moser R3 bundle that was supposed to come out last year. That video is finished and ready to go, but for some reason, whatever, Microsoft has told Moser no more reviews from like affiliates or some kind of thing. I don't know what the reasoning is, but Microsoft will not let us release reviews. But to prove that I have that ready to go, here's a clip from the review.
Hi! To be honest, he raises some good points about Moser not being compatible with consoles. But he's wrong! Because now, there's a new one.
That video has been waiting to go since last October. So yeah, it has been a while I've been waiting for that. Another reason is, like, early in the year, I was going to have another go at making another review for a company called Camus. Now, I had a wheelbase that had been sat with me for a while, but that wheelbase turned out to be faulty, and so therefore I never got the review. So when Camus contacted me in order to try and fix it, I plugged it into my computer, and my computer exploded. So whatever motivation that I had at the time to, you know, get back and doing reviews, that it just kind of just wiped it out completely. Now, it's okay. People from Camus, if you're watching, don't worry. I'm not ripping on you. It was just one faulty product. That's it. I currently have the 15 Nm on my wheelbase, and so far, it's fantastic. It is the smoothest wheelbase I've ever used. It's wonderful. All I'm doing is just basically highlighting a few of the factors why I've been missing. But the whole review format itself kind of got me burnt out as well, because the reviews take a lot of time to make. Like, the filming process alone, just to get the B-roll footage, takes me 3 days until I'm happy with the footage that I've acquired. And then even then, I feel like I still haven't made enough. And then the editing process takes like another 4 days. 5 days even. And and like honestly, it feels awful because sim racing is my passion. I love cars. I love racing. You know that I wouldn't have made an entire channel based around it if I wasn't so passionate about it. Because technically, I am also a musician, but I haven't made a channel about that. You know, sim racing is just something that I just love. So you're probably asking yourself, what is the point of this video? Well, it's just to say that I haven't forgotten about you guys. I am still here. I do notice that a lot of people still comment on the videos of this channel, and that actually gives me, you know, great encouragement. But it's also to let you know that I am trying to make a comeback for this. Hi, Editing Corey here. I'm currently just editing this, and I forgot to mention one thing. Yeah, so recently I have been doing some races in Assetto Corsa Competizione. The first time in 9 months I'd played that game. And I have to say, I've been having a good time in it. I don't know why I fell out of love with that game. I just did. But I've recently been making a return to that. So yeah, that's another thing that, you know, that's kind of pulling me back into sim racing, is just seeing all of the beautiful updates coming to the game and stuff like that. I am still heavily focused in the original Assetto Corsa because that's like, for me, that's the best simulator. But I've been having a lot of fun in ACC as well. So you may see me in some lobbies. Also, as I'm recording this video, don't be surprised if there's going to be another content gap because next Thursday, May the 2nd, I'm going to be in America for a few weeks. So just don't be surprised if there's another gap, but I am still going to be, you know, working on things. So keep an eye out in the next couple of days for a Camus C5 review. Spoiler alert, it's a really good wheelbase. It is also the cheapest direct drive wheel on the market, and it is something that you really shouldn't ignore. That really is all from me today. So to make sure that this, you know, subject is still about sim racing, the next half of this video is going to be a race from when I first tried out LFM in Assetto Corsa, because I was planning to actually make a review of LFM in Assetto Corsa, but like, again, just not to mention the fact that I wasn't able to get ADHD medication at that time. That I should have mentioned earlier. But yeah, hope you guys have been all right. I'm fine. I still, you know, want to do sim racing, and I will be doing sim racing. And I just hope everyone is, you know, happy and safe wherever you are in the world. So I'm going to close out this segment of the video and now just enjoy some sim racing with some commentary over it. I'll see you guys real soon. So we literally start at the beginning of when LFM came to Assetto Corsa. And I set a lap time that was so bad, it was 4.5 seconds away from my personal best. However,
we're pole. That was a rubbish lap. This must be a very low split lobby. Okay.
And away we go. And we actually get a good start. And that's quite important, because if we build up a small gap straight away, then we're less likely to have people going into the back of us.
Just need to take it nice and gentle. We don't need to take any risks. We just need to keep a good, consistent pace. So, Shakespeare behind me, I think what he's doing is working with me. He wants to distance himself from the cars behind him. He's not taking any risks. He's not going for any silly maneuvers. He's just following me so we can distance ourselves from the pack.
Now, because it's only a 30-minute race, it is very tempting to just push straight away and push the car as hard as possible. But it's important that you ease the car into the race and get it warmed up. But if you start fighting straight away, accidents can happen. So it's important to focus on breaking away and fighting later.
But we seem to be doing a pretty good job of just breaking away from him a little bit.
Now, I will be honest, I wasn't the most comfortable with this LMP3 car. It is a very good mod. I am more used to the hypercars where they feel a lot more planted and glued to the road. With this LMP3 car, it does slide around a lot more, and you feel like you have to physically drive it.
Right now, we're not pushing. We're just keeping it clean.
So for those who are new to this channel, this is not Gran Turismo 7. This is a HUD that I like to use, a modded HUD for Assetto Corsa. There are better HUDs out there that you can use for racing, but I feel like this Gran Turismo 7 HUD is a lot simpler and people can read it a lot easier. It's there so for everybody who is watching my streams can have an easier time understanding what is going on in the race. Because I've seen some gaming HUDs that are really complicated, and if you're new to sim racing, it can be a bit overwhelming. Before I used this HUD, I had to explain to people that were new to my streams and new to my content what everything on the screen meant. But I found that the GT7 HUD was the simplest and people seemed to cotton on to what things were a lot faster and everybody had a good time.
Oh. Tires have gone off slightly. How was that? Alright.
So when it comes to LFM using Assetto Corsa, LFM requires you to download a mod called Real Penalty. It's basically a third-party racing steward which monitors what you're doing on track, and if you go too far off the track then it'll give you a warning. And much like real-life racing, if you get 3 warnings then you will start getting penalties. And already we had 2 warnings. So a couple things to note. I noticed that I was a bit weak in a few corners on this racetrack, one being Tetra Rouge, which we've just gone through, and the 2 chicanes. And I noticed every time I was going through those corners, Shakespeare, the driver behind me, was reeling me in. So knowing that, it was very difficult to not feel pressure.
I think the guy behind is using less aero than I am. Oh, someone spun round. Just looking on the map up there. Yeah, he's definitely got less wing than I have. Yeah, he's a lot faster than me through there.
Now the good thing is, despite me using more aero, I did discover that I was actually a lot stronger in a few corners. And not only that, in some corners know where the track limits are. For example here, at the end of the Mulsanne Straight, you can push the track limits way over to the left and get a much better angle for when you turn into the corner. And if we skip forward to this corner, coming into Indianapolis and then getting down to Arnage, we notice that the gap behind is starting to grow. So knowing this, when a fight does eventually break out, we know where we can fight back because we know that we are stronger in these section of corners.
Right, coming up on halfway through the race.
So coming up to the Porsche curves, this shows where we are really strong compared to the driver behind. All the way back from Indianapolis to the Porsche curves, we managed to actually pull out over half a second. So right now, we are able to maintain a rather healthy gap. But when we get to Tetra Rouge and then the rest down of the Mulsanne Straight, that is where he will start reeling us in. And over the course of a lap, it ends up being more like a seesaw effect.
It's a nasty place to pick up a penalty. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, tyres are definitely going. Just got to... So 0.5 seconds is normally the optimal slipstreaming spot. As long as he's above 0.5, then we're okay. But he's just so much quicker than me through these bits. Whoa! Lost 4/10 there. Tyres are crying at this point.
Now we know we are really struggling with the tyres because they have just dropped off, but look here, coming into our possibly weakest corner on the track, Shakespeare behind gains so much time on us through here and brings the gap down to under half a second, which is the sweet spot for the slipstream in Assetto Corsa.
Oh, that's not good. He's gonna... I think he's gonna have me here. There he goes.
Now, we're not going to go defensive into the chicane because we know if we hang on around the outside, then we will have the inside line for the second part of the chicane. Not to mention, we seem to be pretty good on the brakes, and we managed to just hold on to our position.
Whoa! Held on to it, but he's still there.
But now, since he's got the added effect of the slipstream, he's going to have another go at us coming into the end of the Mulsanne Straight. But you may notice we don't defend our position here, because after the corner, there is another long straight, and if you get a better launch, then you'll just come breezing past him.
That compromised his line. That was good. I had the outside line. It's better for the exit.
So I think he knows this, but in doing so, poking his nose up the inside, he has compromised his line a little bit.
Right, he's outside the slipstream. That's good.
Now, for some reason, I was really struggling with the last couple of corners on the track. The car for me felt like it was on a knife edge going through these corners, and especially the last corner, I just could not get the traction down. I was always sliding and losing a ton of time.
Oh, he did the same. But it was less for him.
Even on the penultimate lap, coming out of the last corner, just constant oversteer.
I might. Oh, man. I made so many mistakes in that last part of the lap. Last lap, anyway.
So now we're on the final lap of the race, and Shakespeare is right on us. I was feeling a lot of pressure and making way too many mistakes. Not to mention, our lap times were awful.
He's right there.
On the last couple of laps, I tried everything I could to try and go faster through the chicanes, but no matter what I did, Shakespeare was right there and all over me. I couldn't figure out what was slowing me up so bad. Now coming up to the end of the Mulsanne straight, we're going to try and repeat what we did earlier in the race, but he is a lot closer and now he's alongside us. So it's important that we actually get a good exit here. But unfortunately, I turned in way too early and made an awful mistake, and now we've got an awful exit. So now the pressure is really on to try and catch back up. Thankfully, we know there are corners coming up where we know we are stronger. So that is our last chance to claim victory. But unfortunately, the pressure got to me. Even through our strongest corners, I was making so many mistakes, getting oversteer, and if we look at Arnage, I don't even know what I was doing here. But we still have the Porsche curbs. And it was equally as awful. So our only hope now is if Shakespeare makes a mistake, which is unlikely because he's driven a great race and put me under a load of pressure. Unfortunately, nothing came to fruition, and that is P2 at Le Mans. But I wasn't too unhappy because that was our first race online in a very long time, and I don't think we did too badly.
It was a good race, but he got me in the end. Never mind. I would have liked the win, but what a shame. As a first race back, I don't think that was a bad one. I'm kicking myself a little bit because I had a very, very good chance of winning, but because I made too many mistakes. My excuse is, well, it's not really an excuse. It is actually, it is blaming me, but I just don't like that car. I'm not very good with it. But yeah, I think as races go, a first race back, that wasn't too bad.
Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed my little rant at the beginning. Hope you enjoyed the race that you just watched. Before we go, don't forget to go and check out the channel partners. Yes, we are still partnered with all of these guys over on the left-hand side of the screen, and also go and check out GamerSups. I've been partnered with them for a while. They're really good, and they are possibly the best, powdered energy supplement on the market. So use code Coyote for 10% off. But yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will try and get more content out for you guys. Camus C5 video coming out real soon. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Have a good night, everybody.